So very good afternoon. Very good afternoon. So we have presently Gaurav, Khushi, Priyam, Rishabh and Ritik Yadav in the class. So I'm going to start the class now. So before starting, let me just show you where we stand and how much we have done our course. So uh, just have a look of this. This is your course plan which you all have, and these are the this is what is this entire portion which I am highlighting. We have already done it. Okay, and this is our 12th class. We are 2 class back, so I need one more class in order to finish off these 2 portions. We will be doing today itself because these are very small one. We will be finishing off with this and then we'll be proceeding further. So discharge of the contract and remedies of breach of contract, and then special contracts, indemnity guarantee, pledge, and then principal agent relationship afterwards. Okay, so let us just start the class of today itself. Yeah. So we will be starting with the contingent contract. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. So what is contingent contract? What is contingent? Anyone? You might have heard this word contingent liability. Contingent liability actually is shown in the balance sheet in the footnotes. So I'm just giving you hint for that. So what do you mean by contingent liability? Any one of you?
Sir, basically, the
The
contingent
contingent
liability is a
liability of
liability.
Sorry? What is contingent liability? Anyone? Yeah, Lagan?
contingent liability is a liability that may occur depending on the outcome of future events. मतलब it may occur or it may not occur.
Okay. So it is totally dependent on the happening of some other event. Very good,
Right.
Chirayu. You have said it very correctly. So in the same way, contingent contracts are also those contracts which are the happening of which depends on the happening of some other event. Okay, so this is dependent on that. So as per section 31, a contingent contract is a contract to do or not to do something if some event collateral to such contract does or does not happen. For example, A contracts to sell B 10 bales of cotton for rupees 20,000 if the ship by which they are coming returns safely. So this is a contingent contract. So what is the event contingent? The event contingent is that if the ship returns safely, then only this contract will be enforceable, otherwise not. Okay, so the contract of insurance and the contract of indemnity and guarantee are popular instance of the contingent contract because indemnity is a contract of making good the loss. So insurance is a contract of indemnity itself, that on happening of certain event, for the consideration in the form of premium, you actually assure others that I will fulfill your loss whatsoever it if it happens in case you pay me the this premium. So for the sake of premium, this contract is done. Okay. So in the same way, the contract of guarantee also is there. So in the contract of guarantee, what happens that A gives guarantee to B. That means suppose C has taken some amount from B. B is bank. So A will give guarantee to the bank that if C will not be able to pay it, I will pay it. So I take the guarantee that C will pay it. If C will not pay, I will pay. So the this particular contract of guarantee will be enforceable only if C is not able to make the payment or if C doesn't pays. So then only this particular contract will be applicable. Okay, so there are certain rules regarding the contingent contract which is covered under section 32 to 36. So the first thing is the contracts contingent upon happening of a future uncertain event cannot be enforced by law unless and until that event has happened. So you cannot enforce the contract of the contingent contract before the happening or non-happening whatever of the event which is being decided. If event becomes impossible, the contract becomes void. So that particular uncertain future event, if it becomes impossible to perform, or it is not possible to to perform that or to happen that event, then the contract which is on the basis of that made will be set aside. So for example, A makes a contract to buy B's house if A survives C. Okay, so this contract cannot be enforced by law until and unless C dies in A's timeline. Okay, so if the A's in A's lifetime, if C will not die, the contract that B will sell the house, B will to B the house will be sold is not fulfilled. So this cannot be enforced till the either till C dies, or if if C doesn't dies, or if C dies, then only A will be able to sell the house. Okay, so in the second case, A contract to pay B a sum of money when B marries C. Now C dies without being married to B. Now whom B will marry? So this contract becomes void because it is impossible now that you cannot marry a dead person. Okay, so this has become impossible. So that's why this contract will also be void. Second type of thing, contract contingent upon non-happening. Previously it was happening of certain event. Okay, happening of certain. Now it is non-happening of certain uncertain future event that can be enforced when the happening of the event becomes impossible, or non-happening of the event becomes impossible, and not before that. Okay, so it is like that. So a contract to pay B certain sum of money if certain ship does not return. Right, so A contracts to pay B certain money if certain ship does not return. The ship has sunk, the contract can be enforced because the ship has not returned. Okay, it has sunk, it will never return. So this contract will become enforceable only on non-happening of certain event. Okay, so it is non-happening is that the ship is not coming. Okay, because it has sunk. So this contract will become enforceable. Fine. So next is, if a contract is contingent upon how a person will act at an unspecified time, the event shall be considered to become impossible when such person does anything which renders it impossible that he should so act within any definite time or otherwise under the further contingency. So A agrees to pay B a sum of rupees 1000 if B marries C. Okay, now C in this case is not dying. Actually what happened, the C actually got married to D. C when got married to D, he has actually made it impossible now to marry B. Okay, so the marriage of B and C must now be considered to be impossible, although it is possible only when, anyhow, if D dies, then B and C may marry. So that is another thing. But at this moment of time, he has actually made this contract actually void because he has done certain thing, he has conducted certain things, okay, which has actually made it void. And now next is your D is contract contingent on happening of an event within a fixed time become void if at the expiration of time such event has not happened, or if before the time fixed such event become impossible to happen. Okay, now time over here is fixed. Here we are fixing the time. A promises to pay B a sum of money if a certain ship returns within a year. Now previously it was non-return. Now ship returns, and that too within a year. So within a year is important over here. So the contract may be enforced if the ship returns within a year and becomes void if ship is burnt. That is, it will never return. So it will become, and even within the year, if the ship is burnt, suppose 10 months has passed and you get to know the ship has burned. So even after 12 months, ship will not return. So it has become impossible for the ship to return, and therefore the contract will become invalid at that time, or you can say void at that time. Next is contract contingent upon non-happening of an event within a fixed time may be enforced by law when the time fixed has expired. So that fixed time has expired and such event has not happened, or before time fixed has expired, it has become certain that such event will never happen. Okay, so it's, so previous was the happening of, so here again non-happening of event. So A promised to pay B a sum of money if certain ship does not return within a year. So previously it was certain ship return within a year. So now it is certain ship does not return within a year. So the contract may be enforced if the ship does not return within the year or is burnt within the year. Okay, very simple. Next is contingent agreement to do or not to do anything if an impossible event happens are void, whether the impossibility of the event is known or unknown, whatever. But if it is, if you know it is impossible, then also, and if you don't know it is impossible, then also, the thing is that it will be void. Suppose, for example, A agrees to pay rupees 1000 to B if the two straight lines will meet somewhere, or you can say two straight lines enclose a space. So true straight line can never enclose a space, because in order to be space, there either has to be a circle or a square, and the two straight line will always be parallel. So it will not enclose, it will always be open from two sides. Okay, so it will never enclose a space as such. Okay, so it is totally void because it is known that it is never enforceable. Okay, so this was all about your contingent contract. Anything you want to ask about contingent contract, please ask. Come on, anyone?
सर एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कितने टाइम तक चल सकता है?
जितने टाइम आप चला सको, मतलब you have to just tell it, right? Means if you want this contract to be there for suppose for example, suppose आपने जैसे पार्टनरशिप का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है, पार्टनरशिप का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज फॉर एवर एट द विल, पार्टनरशिप एट विल होती है ना. पार्टनरशिप एट विल का क्या मतलब हुआ? Partnership at will means that partnership will be there till both of the partners have decided not to be together. Okay?
Okay, sir.
All insurance are considered as contingent contract.
थोड़ा जोर से.
Sir, all insurance are considered that as contingent contracts.
I'm not getting you. बोलो.
सर जितने भी इंश्योरेंसेज होते हैं वो सारे कंटिजेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते हैं.
बेटा इंश्योरेंस का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ही इंडेमनीफाइंग का होता है. दैट ऑल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स ऑफ इंश्योरेंस आर कंटिंजेंट ओनली ऑन हैपनिंग ऑफ सर्टेन इवेंट. इंश्योरेंस का मीनिंग ही वही है.
सर एक डाउट है सर.
हाँ बोलो.
सर जैसे कुछ चीजें ऐसी, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कुछ इंश्योरेंस ऐसी भी होती है कि सर एक सर्टेन टाइम पीरियड के बाद आपको है ना कुछ ना जैसे कंपनी में रिटर्न में देती है.
क्या क्या कैसे?
सर जैसे कुछ प्लान्स होते हैं सर, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल एसआईपीज होती है, उसमें सर एक फिक्स टाइम पीरियड गिवन होता है. तो उसमें से कंटीजेंट थोड़ी हो पाएगा सर. वो तो कंटीजेंट
हो गया ना, वो उस टाइम पीरियड के पहले आपको थोड़ी मिलेगा.
हाँ सर, बट वहां से कोई इवेंट थोड़ी अकर हो रहा है.
उसके पहले इवेंट अकर हो सकता है तो भी मिल जाएगा. सपोज आपकी डेथ हो गई तो उस टाइम पे आपकी फैमिली को मिलेगा. तो है तो अल्टीमेटली दिस इज अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ इंडेमनिटी ओनली. On indemnity is making good the loss. At the same time, it is a contingent contract on happening of certain event. If the time successfully passes and you are also alive, you will get the money from the insurance company.
Okay.
Getting?
सर टाइम, हाँ सर, बट मेरे को ये था कि सर टाइम भी अगर कंसीडर करते तो वो भी इवेंट ही हुआ टेक्निकली.
Sorry?
सर अगर टाइम भी अगर क्रॉस कर जाता है तो भी वो एक इवेंट ही कंसीडर किया जाएगा.
हाँ टाइम क्रॉस हो जाता है, मतलब एट द टाइम एक्चुअली क्या है, टाइम क्रॉस होता है मैच्योरिटी पे.
हाँ सर.
The maturity of the policy, you will consider the time has now crossed and you will get the benefit. The insurance company will give a credit to you. Now you want to receive it or not, it totally depends on you. It will ask a account number and all that it will give. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone, anything else? Good questions. Very good. I'm very happy that at least you are discussing. And I would be, it will be my pleasure to answer all of your questions before we proceed further. Okay, so please keep on interacting, and I'm seeing who is interacting and who is not. Even after asking you, you are not interacting, then it will you will get your marks deducted. I'm telling you, for the class participation, and all these lectures are recorded. You cannot deny them afterwards. Okay, either I will ask.
One more doubt.
Yeah, who is this?
सर वन मोर डाउट सर.
हाँ बेटा.
सर एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वॉइड होने के बाद वापस एक्टिव हो सकता है क्या?
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक बार वॉइड हो गया उसके बाद एक्टिव नहीं हो सकता, आपको नया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करना. यू हैव टू रिन्यू इट, और व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर अ रिन्यूअल ऑफ अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, यू आर एंटरिंग इनटू अनदर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल, you have done a contract with a minor. Okay, minor contract is ab initio void. Now even after the minor attains the majority, minor has attained the majority now. Now he has become a major. Now he wants that the previous contract which he has done, he wants to ratify that he cannot do it. He has to enter into another contract because the contract in which he entered before is void. Now he has to enter into another contract which will be a fresh contract. Okay. Anyone, anything else? Come on. Good, Pranav. Pranav, Chirayu and Lagan. Very good. Fine. So let us proceed further now. Anyone, anything else? Chirayu, should I proceed now? I think all have asked. Fine. So next is your quasi contract. So what are quasi? Quasi is something related to, means it is resembling certain relations which resembles contract, but they are not actually contract, but still because they resemble contract, they have been put under the preview of the contract itself, and they are equally, you can say enforceable, right? So nature of the quasi contract: a valid contract must contain certain elements such as offer and acceptance, capacity to contract, consideration, and free consent. These all are the essentials. But sometimes the law implies a promise imposing an obligation on one party and conferring a right in the favor of another. Means it is obligation on one party is the duty of one party to perform, and at the same time it is a right of other to get it performed. So in that situation, what will happen? These type of contracts are also contracts, and these are called quasi contracts, where there is no offer, no acceptance, no consensus addendum. In fact, there is neither any agreement nor any promise. Still, those contracts will be called contracts. Okay, such cases are not contracts in this strict sense, but the code recognizes them as a relation resembling means similar, resembling those of contracts, and enforces them as if they were contracts, and therefore they are called quasi contract. Quasi, the term quasi means resembling, means they are actually not contract because there is no offer, no acceptance, no consensus addendum, no free consent, and all this is not there. Still they will be called a contract because the court has regarded these as a contract. And why court has regarded these as a contract? Because these quasi contract rest on the principle of unjust enrichment. Okay, it is the equitable principle. That's a natural law of justice which actually considers that that one will not be allowed to enrich himself unjustifiably at the expense of other. Okay, so that's why it is called quasi contract. Okay, in truth it is not a contract at all. It is an obligation which the law has created in absence of any agreement. When any person in the possession of one's money, somebody else's money you are in possession of, okay, or its equivalent, under such circumstances, that is in equity and good conscience, he ought not to retain it. He should not retain it at all, and which in the justice and fairness belongs to others, because it actually belongs to others. So you are not allowed to keep it because it will be against the law of natural justice, And law of natural justice says that one should not be unjustifiably enriched at the expense of other. That's why these are called quasi contract. So it is a duty and not the agreement or intention which defines it. A very simple illustration is money paid under mistake. So by mistake, if you have paid some money to someone, so money actually belongs to you, but you have actually paid it. So now it is with someone else. So that someone else, whosoever will be having it, it is his duty to repay you back the money which he or she has received by mistake. So equity demands that such money must be paid back. Okay. So the following are the types of the quasi contract which have been dealt with in the Indian Contract Act. These are 5 necessities supplied to a person incapable of contracting or to anyone whom he is illegally bound to support. Means he is not legally bound to support and still he has supported. Okay, so it is not illegally. Better I just make it is not legally bound to support. Okay, so when a person is not legally bound to support other and he is supporting, then also, and that too for the necessities, and that too to those people who are incapable of entering into a contract, in that case this will be a quasi contract. So suit for money and had received. Okay, C is obligation of finder of goods, obligation of person enjoying benefit of non-gratuitous act under section 70, liability of money paid or anything delivered by mistake or coercion. So these are the 5 things which are found in the Indian Contract Act to be given as or to be declared as a quasi contract. Okay, so number 1, let us just discuss it one by one. Number 1 is necessity supplied to an incompetent person. So contracts by minor and a person of unsound mind are totally void, we know very well. So however, section 68 of the Indian Contract Act provides that their state are liable to reimburse the trader who supplies them the necessity of life. For example, a person on the road has met with an accident and that person is a minor. So you have taken a initiative to just bring that person at home. Okay, and he is a minor also, he is in need also, and you have provided him all the necessities. Means you have taken him to the hospital and you have got him actually cured by the doctors over there. So at this time you are having all the rights to receive the money which you have spent on him for the necessities from his estate, from his property, and from his treasurer. Okay, so from his pocket, if he is having something, then you can take it, but provided he should have that. Okay, so that can be taken even through the court of law, it can be taken. Second is obligation of finder of lost goods. So the liability of finder of lost goods belonging to someone is that of a bailee. Bailee is a person to whom some goods or some property has been provided in order to take care of it. So some person, if he has provided a property to a bailee, that person to whom the property is provided must take care of that particular property as if it actually belongs to him. So this means that he must take care of the goods as a man of ordinary prudence would have taken care of his own goods of the same kind. So he must actually take care of those goods with all that utmost care and help. So far as the real owner of the goods is concerned, the finder is only a bailee and must not appropriate the goods for his own use until and unless it is specifically told to him to use by the owner. If the owner is traced, he must return the goods to him. The finder is entitled to get a reward that may have been offered by the owner and also any expense he may have incurred in protecting and preserving the property. So if for this lost goods, sometimes if there is some offer by the person whose goods are lost and somebody finds it off, then he is completely eligible to get that offer also. For example, you might have heard sometimes that some dog is lost, some property papers are missing somewhere. between this place to this place, and whosoever will get it will be given a appropriate award of 2000 rupees or 5000 rupees. So this type of advertisements are there in the newspaper also sometimes. So that is something which a person can always get. Not only the person will be able to get the reward, but also the expenses which he has incurred in order to return it back to him. Next is sued for money and had received. The right to file a suit for recovery of money may arise where the plaintiff paid the money to the defendant. Number one, under a mistake. Second, in pursuance of the contract, the consideration of which has failed. Third is under coercion, oppression, extortion, something. So here the word coercion doesn't mean the section 15 coercions, the difference of which you have written. This is in open sense, means any type of threatening or something, any type of suppressing is required, or any type of thing which you have, which has been done. So in that case, if some property has been taken, then it will be called a coercion, oppression, extortion. If something has been done under these, then definitely there has to be a restitution. You have to, it can be suited for, or you can say you can file a suit against the person who actually carries it for his own good without your permission. So, or if you have under a mistake you have given something extra to someone, okay, so in that case also. So in case if the consideration for which consideration has failed, for example, just now we have seen some contingent contract, that if the consideration has failed, suppose for example A has agreed to give B rupees 10,000 if he marries C. So with C the marriage cannot happen. So if B has taken some advance from A, so then B has to return it back to him. A debtor may recover from a creditor amount of an overpayment made to him by mistake. So mistake can be mistake of law or mistake of fact, whatever. But in that case, whatsoever mistake has happened, but the things should be made good if the contract is not executable. So second is payment to third party of money which other party is bound to pay. For example, A's goods are wrongly attached in order to realize the arrears of the government revenue due to B. Okay, so by mistake A's goods are attached, okay, and the amount was paid by A. Now A is having all the rights to recover the amount from B, because A's goods have unnecessarily or by mistake it has been attached to the order to realize the arrears. So government has taken away his car. Suppose his car was lying on the road, and the government has taken away his car because he might not have paid some of the installment, or the bank has taken away the car. Okay, so in that case, A will get his car paying the money which was due to B, and will get it back, and then he will be having all the rights to collect that from B in any of the cases. Next is your money obtained by defendant from the third parties. For example, where an agent has obtained a secret commission or a fraudulent payment from any of the third party, the principal can recover the amount from the agent, because agent, for all the activities of agent, principal is responsible. So even if he is making some secret money, private money out of the venture of the agent is having all the rights to take the things from him. Next is obligation of a person enjoying benefit of non-gratuitous act. So section 70 of the Indian Contract Act provides that where a person lawfully does something for another person or delivers anything to him without any intention of doing so gratuitously, and other person accepts and enjoys the benefit thereof, the latter must compensate the former. Means the bailee must compensate the owner, okay, or restore him the things so delivered. So these are the things. So for example, when one of the two joint tenants, so two people are residing together in one house, and one was out of the station, and the another one actually paid the whole rent, because it was a pact that both of them will pay 50-50. So he has paid the whole rent. So he is having all the rights to recover the rent from his partner. Okay, so it's like that. So and even for example, this if you want to just have one very good example of this obligation of a person enjoying benefit of non-gratuitous act. So I will tell you one more example. The act has to be a non-gratuitous one. It is important over here. And even if in case, for example, this third party, you can say one more thing was there where I just want to quote this off. Suppose, for example, one person has given his cow to other person, and he went off for a tour outside India for 6 months. So, and he told him that you please enjoy the milk, because what will happen, the cow will give milk, it will all be wasted otherwise. So he told him, you enjoy the milk, and while I will be returning, I will take my cow back. So after certain time, when he was over there, the cow delivered one calf. So that calf which was delivered by the cow, whom it will belong to? The owner of the cow, or this the person to whom he has given? Means suppose A is the owner and B is the person who was given this cow for a certain period of time. So who will be the owner of that calf? Any one of you? बछड़ा किसका है? मालिक, गाय के मालिक का, या फिर उस बंदे को जिसको उसने 6 महीने के लिए गाय दी थी, किसका होगा?
मालिक का होना चाहिए वैसे तो।
क्यों यार? उसने तो काऊ की बात करी, बछड़े की तो बात ही नहीं करी।
सर गाय, सर बछड़ा तो गाय से ही आएगा ना, तो गाय तो उसी की है। तो
भाई गाय ले जाए ना, अपने गाय की बात हुई थी, गाय दे देंगे।
मालिक का ही होगा क्योंकि उससे की प्रॉपर्टी से हुआ है।
Anyone else? You are very correct that bachra will also belong to that person who has given the cow. Actually pact जो हुआ था, जो deal हुई थी, that was regarding taking the milk, not anything else which has come out of that. So he must return, because actually bachra will be of that cow only, and cow belongs to the owner. So if bachra will be with this person, he will get unjustifiable enrichment because he has not done anything, and there was no deal that okay, the cow is going to give a bachra, after 6 months you keep the bachra and give me the cow and you take care. ऐसा तो कोई बात हुई नहीं थी. So in that case there will be an unjust enrichment if the bachra will not be given to the owner back. Okay, so this way you should defend. Fine. Anyone, anything else if you want to share, if you want to talk about on at this point of time? Come on. No? Okay. So last point which is remaining is the liability of money paid or things delivered by mistake or by coercion. So under section 72 of the Act prescribed that a person who has received money or things by mistake or under coercion must repay or return it back. However, the word coercion is not necessarily governed under section 15 of this Act. It means it includes the operation, extortion, whatever. Like for example, the payment of advance tax in excess. You have paid some certain advance tax in excess to the government. So what the government will do, the income tax department will repay it back to you. So there will be refund from the income tax department for the return filed by you. Okay, so it's like that. Fine. So this is I think all about your quasi contract also. So we have completed 2 things today. One is your contingent contract, another is your quasi contract. Okay, should I ask some questions to you now, guys, in order to make this interesting? So I will take the name and you have to tell me whom should I ask. Then whosoever will answer has again to tell someone else's name in the class so that I will ask the question to him. Okay, in order to just make this more interactive and more interesting, right? Yeah, so whom should I ask first? This is again a question. Okay, let me take from you who would like to answer. I will just give you a situation and you have to answer it. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Who is this?
Should I
Okay.
answer?
Lagan? Right, Lagan and
Okay, sir,
Chirai.
no problem.
Hey, that is okay, but nobody else is actually taking part except both of you in the class. I find very few people. Pranav also takes part, but I have to drag someone. Kushi is also active now. I think she wants to answer. Kushi, would you like to answer? Okay,
Sir?
Lagan, I'm asking. Lagan, I'm asking you. Okay.
Okay, sir, no
So
issues.
for you, suppose A supplies to B a lunatic with necessities suitable to his condition in life, and what will happen is would A be able to get the uh, get the value of the necessity supplied from B's property or not?
Sir, if I consider B as a minor, then A has a right to.
No, B is lunatic. पागल है वो, पागल है, lunatic.
Okay, okay, sir. So, sir, he will. जब सर बेसिकली टेक्निकली तो ये होगा कि सर अगर ए ने बी को दिया है प्रॉपर्टी में पार्ट, राइट, और अगर ए सॉरी बी अगर यूनाइटेड है तो उसको सर पूरा वापस मिलेगा, बिकॉज इट विल बी कंसीडर वॉइड, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वॉइड हो जाएगा.
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वॉइड कहाँ से हो जाएगा?
सर पागल है ना सर.
नहीं, इसकी प्रॉपर्टी नेसेसिटी सप्लाई करी ना भाई, अभी बताया था ना मैंने. क्वाजी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, सप्लाई ऑफ नेसेसिटीज टू इनकम्पिटेंट पर्सन. Now this B is incompetent, he is lunatic, you cannot enter into agreement with him, but now you are supplying him some, suppose medicine supply किया आपने, and now इसकी जान बच गई. तो if B's property, if B has sufficient property to give you back, then he has to give it back. Okay.
सर कंपल्सरी कि विलफुल है?
क्या चीज? नहीं, विलफुल कुछ नहीं होता है. You can claim the things from the property. इसकी प्रॉपर्टी है, इसको देना ही नहीं.
Okay.
It has to be, he has to return it back. Okay, means if he doesn't returns it back, A is having all the right to file a suit against him.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. चलो अगला नाम बताओ, किसको पूछूं?
सर नमन जैन सर.
नमन जैन, तुम्हारा दोस्त? Okay. Naman Jain, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So Naman, I'm just giving you one situation. You have to tell me what should happen in this. Okay. So for example,
Okay.
now A and B are two persons. A does not pay the amount of sale tax, and the sale tax authority bring a order from the court attaching his property, मतलब A's property. Now B is a very good friend of A, like Lagan is a very good friend of you. Okay, makes the payment of to the sale tax authority. B is very good friend, right, and makes the payment because A के पास पैसे नहीं थे, उसने नहीं दिए, तो जो B था उसने A की जगह पैसे दे दिए और उसकी प्रॉपर्टी छुड़वा ली. Now what happens? This B, the another person, this is who is this B, who is a good friend, now wants his money back from A. Can he recover?
So he can recover by selling the property, because now the properties are not under the sales department.
So he is, A is having money with him. उसका पैसा कहीं फंसा हुआ था, उसको पैसा मिल गया है. Now, but A doesn't want to give the money to B. Can
No,
B
sir,
recover?
then they cannot. No, he can only because that is a mutual understanding case.
There was no mutual understanding. A was not there when the property was confiscated. B, in good faith, being a good friend, pays for A's liability and releases the property. Can B later on recover the payment from A?
So
Yes.
I'm confused.
Why you are confused? You just clear. First of all, you get clear. Mr. A is there. He is having some property. He is having some business. Okay. and he is dealing in some business. Because of that business, some sale tax liability came upon him. Okay, and he was not able to pay that sale tax liability, and the property which was attached to it was to be taken over by the government. Meanwhile, B saw that he is not here also and is not able to, just give this money. B gave the entire money and releases and stop the government to take over the property. Now B, because B has given money on behalf of A, can B recover it from A? कुछ तो बोलो यार.
Sir, legally he cannot, because no bounding will be there. Foundations
Yes,
are
you
not
are
been
very
there.
correct. He cannot. Why? Because neither A is lunatic nor he is incompetent. Actually, he didn't wanted to pay because the liability, the tax liability was falsely created by the government unnecessarily. He actually wanted to file a suit against the government, or he wanted government to file a suit against him. Then he would have seen them in court. No, he has not invited B to help him out. Even B doesn't know the real situation. So why B should pay? If B has paid, it is his willingness. He has paid it, so he cannot recover it from A. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you tell me another name.
सर एक डाउट
हाँ बोलो.
सर जैसे यहाँ पे तो चल आपने बोला कि है ना बी ने विलफुली और यहाँ पे गुड फेथ में पे करा अमाउंट.
हाँ.
यही अगर सर ए बोलता बी को कि सर मेरे पास भी पैसे नहीं, तू पे कर दे, देन उसके
फिर तो फंस जाता. फिर तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो जाता. वो कहता है साहब ने भाई मेरे पास पैसे नहीं, तू पे कर दे. इसका मतलब ये हुआ ही इज इनवाइटिंग बी, और ये इम्प्लाइड है कि जब अगर बी पे कर देगा, बाद में जब ए के पास पैसे आएंगे वो वापस बी को दे देगा.
ओके, मतलब अगर हमने बोला है तो वो इम्प्लाइड माना जाएगा कि उसने इनवाइट किया है.
हाँ, मतलब ये तो एक तरह से, मतलब भाई बी क्यों देगा, और ए जब उसको बोलेगा कि भैया तू मेरे पैसे दे दे, मैं, और साथ में ये भी तो बोलेगा मैं तेरे को बाद में दे दूंगा, बोलेगा ही ना. अगर नहीं भी बोलता है तो भी ये इम्प्लाइड है कि भी नॉर्मली अगर किसी ने किसी के ब्याह पे कोई पेमेंट किया है तो उसको देना बनता ही है. अपन वैसे भी करते ही है ना नॉर्मल कोर्स ऑफ टाइम में, अगर गुड फेथ है सब जगह एंड दोनों दोस्त है. हाँ, वो बात अलग है. ए बी को पैसे दे जाए, बी मना कर दे, अरे यार नहीं यार कोई बात नहीं, अपन तो दोस्त हैं, छोड़, तो मुझे समोसा खिला दे. और ये समोसा नहीं है ना. ठीक है ना. वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. या एनीवन एल्स, एनीथिंग एल्स?
सर क्वेश्चन है.
कौन है? हु इज दिस?
सर यशस्वी.
बोलो बच्चे.
सर एक्चुअली जैसे अभी आपने बोला कि वो जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट था ए और बी का, तो सर उसमें जैसे लगन ने अभी पूछा कि समझो अगर ए ने उसको बोला करने को कि आप मेरा पैसा पे करो बी को, एंड बी ने कर दिया. लेकिन सर अगर उनके बीच में समझो अगर ऐसे लाइक फेस टू फेस बोला है, सिर्फ बोला है उसे, ठीक है, एंड देन एट अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम ए बोलता है कि नहीं मैं तुझे तेरे पैसे वापस नहीं लौटाऊंगा, तो उस सिचुएशन में बी को क्या करना चाहिए? बिकॉज देयर इज नो एग्रीमेंट साइन बिटवीन बोथ ऑफ देम. मतलब उसने कोई लिखा पढ़ी नहीं करी है.
देखो, इफ the agreement, I have told you before also, it is not necessary that agreement has to be in writing, number one. If you have sufficient reason or to believe or to let the court believe that there was an agreement, suppose for example आपने record कर लिया, okay, now it is a proof. Writing is not only the proof, you can give n number of, so writing is not a thing. So even अपन यही मानते हैं कि उन दोनों ने आपस में ये agreement किया था कि that B will pay the money and A has requested B to pay the money. ये कह रही हो ना तुम? A has requested B to pay the money without saying that I will pay you back or not. यही कहना चाहती हो?
नो सर, ए ने उसको बोला कि मुझे पेमेंट कर दूंगा, बट लेकिन जब बी ने उससे मांगा कि आई वांट माय मनी बैक, तो ए ने बोला कि नहीं मैं नहीं दूंगा, मैंने ऐसा कुछ बोला ही नहीं था. उस सिचुएशन में बी क्या करेगा?
कोर्ट में जाएगा और ए हार जाएगा. बी विल फाइल अ सूट अगेंस्ट ए एंड विल रिकवर द मनी.
पर कोई रिटर्न हो या फिर वो थोड़ी ना होगा कोई प्रूफ उसके पास, फिर कैसे जीतेगा?
मैं कहता रहा हूँ रिटर्न नहीं है, अगर प्रूफ नहीं है तो फिर तो कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता बेटा. The
तो
court
वही तो
asks
सर
only
उसने
for the
कहा सर, वो वही तो यशस्वी ने कहा सर कि ओरल बस बोल दिया उसने कि हाँ मैं पे कर दूंगा,
अगर आप
पर फिर
ओरल
बाद
को
में अपनी बात से इग्नोर करता है,
Got it,
अपनी
got
बात से
it.
पीछे हट
अगर
जाता है, तो
अगर
फिर
आप
कैसे
ओरल
जीतेगा?
को अगर आप ओरल को लिखवा ले, वो रिकॉर्ड कर लेते हो, सपोज फोन पे बात हुई और आपने फोन का रिकॉर्ड कर लिया,
हाँ वो तो एक
This
प्रूफ हो
is-
गया सर, पर विदाउट किसी प्रूफ के थोड़ी नहीं जीतेगा।
ना देखो, मैं दो चीजें बता रहा हूँ आपको, एक तो है राइटिंग और एक है प्रूफ। ओके, जरूरी नहीं है कि राइटिंग हो, लेकिन प्रूफ होना जरूरी है।
हाँ
मैंने कहा ना, इफ यू हैव अ रीजन टू बिलीव, इफ यू कैन मेक द कोर्ट बिलीव, or if you have something to show that yes, this has happened for sure. So that's why normally it is said that whenever you are entering into, or whenever there has to be a intention to create a legal relationship. What is intention to create legal relationship? This is the intention, that I want to bind you if you will not fulfill your promise. Got it? So if you will not fulfill your promise, I will
excuse me,
sue you. हाँ बेटा,
सर बिजनेस की बैलेंस शीट तो प्रूफ कर सकती है ना
क्या
कि बी ने एक ही तौर पे पैसा दिया था, वो बिजनेस की बैलेंस शीट पे प्रूफ तो शो होगा ही।
बिजनेस की बैलेंस शीट तब प्रूव करेगी जब बी ने चेक में पेमेंट किया होगा, और आजकल चेक से ही पेमेंट होता है, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ ना आपको, दैट इज फॉर श्योर।
फर्म के थ्रू पेमेंट होगा तो बी पहले एक ही फर्म में पैसा डालेगा, फिर ही तो वो आगे सेल्स में कटेगा।
One or the other way whatsoever, you must have the proofs, okay, that the payment has been made, okay, and there was intention to create a legal relationship. B is not there for doing charity, okay, so it is implied. But still, I again emphasize, you must have a valid reasons and valid proofs to showcase or to make your case pakka. Okay? May it be recording, may it be, writing, whatever, because it is not necessary that every contract should be registered and in writing. But it is better rather to have your contract in writing and registered. That's why a partnership deed will be having no meaning if it is not registered in the court of law. Yes, Raghav, anything else?
No sir.
Okay. Are you all satisfied? Yashasvi?
Yes, sir.
I can find a very good participation today. So I expect this from all of you in the class itself, right?
Yes sir.
Chalo. So we are done with our time also, because I had some time, so I thought I will ask you, and I think this will be a good practice. What do you think? Would this be a good practice in future too? No, this will increase your understanding also. Okay.
Yes sir.
Chali. Let me just take the final attendance now.
सर
हाँ बोलो।
सर मैंने पोस्ट पे एक ईमेल डाली, उसको सचिन यादव, प्लीज उसको भी ऐड कर लेना क्लास में।
कौन है बेटा, मुझे बताओ।
पोस्ट पे ईमेल डाल दी, सचिन यादव है क्लास में, पर वो एडिट नहीं है अपने ग्रुप।
बेटा एक मिनट, उसका नंबर बताओ ना।
नंबर
मतलब उसका जो वो है, क्या बोलते हैं,
रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर।
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
190।
एक मिनट बच्चे, एक मिनट रुक जाए। सेक्शन बी ना?
यस सर।
ऐड नंबर, हाँ बोलो।
190
190901202।
यस सर।
एडेड, डन।
सर अटेंडेंस ले लो, फोन बंद होने वाला है।
अच्छा ओके, ये कर दिया मैंने बेटा, ठीक है ना? हाँ
ले लिया अटेंडेंस सर?
नहीं, अटेंडेंस ले रहा हूँ।
तो आप मेरी लो, फोन स्विच ऑफ होने वाला है, लाइट नहीं आ रही है।
ओके, सो अभय जैन, अभय सिंह, अभिषेक सिंह, अधिराज, आकाश जिंदल, आशुतोष शर्मा, आयुष वर्मा, अजान, चिरायु
प्रेजेंट सर। अजान।
हाँ, दीपक, दीपेंद्र, धनंजय, धीरज, दीप्ति राकेश, दिव्यांशी, गौरव शर्मा, जयपाल सिंह, कनिष्क बिलोची, कशिश शर्मा, खुशी वाजवा, लगान, लगन, लक्ष्य शर्मा, लकी चौधरी, Mihir Agarwal, Naman Jain, Pranav Sharma,
Present, sir.
Priyam Soni,
Sir,
Raghav,
Lakshya Sharma present.
Raghav Malpani, Raghav Singhal, Rishabh
Yes, sir.
Goyal,
Present, sir.
Rishi Kanungo, Ritik Yadav, Sahil Khandelwal, Shriyansh Jain, Surbhi Singhal, Tanish Agarwal, Tarun Singh, Ujjwal Gupta, Vaishnavi Mishra, Vikramaditya Singh, Yashashvi Purohit, and Yashpal Singh.
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
Okay, so all the best and have a nice day for the rest of the day. Enjoy the full day and do the things whatever you want to, and happy weekend too. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.